Hello everybody, it's Kim with Fitness with Fido, and I am talking about front toe flexion exercises today. So why am I talking about this? Well, one, it's my homework for canine fitness training, and I'll be honest, I'm a professional dog groomer, and I've never thought about what plane of motion their feet are in. But anyways, I'm going to talk about why it's important, some exercises you can do, and I mean, they are on them all the time, right? First, let's start out. What is toe flexion? So flexion is when a joint bends and the angle decreases, so it's shortening. So any movement that their digits round or curl would be flexion. So when the bottom of their front paw is moving towards their tail. So these are some of the more natural ones, like swimming. You can see when that paw is moving backwards, that's the flexion. When it's going forward, it's the extension. So you can see it a little better here on the underwater treadmill. And it's much easier to record this, and you can see a little more resistance pushing back because of the treadmill instead of the free form with swimming. So swimming versus underwater treadmill, that's a whole other topic. Maybe I'll do another video on that someday. But today we are just talking about toe flexion of those front paws and various ways. So this is another natural way some dogs will do, is just digging in the sand. So the flexion and extending, it's kind of like yin and yang. I love this one. He's digging in the water, getting that combo move. Another option is trying to teach your dog to use a scratch board. So as they're going downwards is the flexion, or maybe digging in a towel. And this is working all the way up their arm. Another nice easy one is just walking in the sand. As the sand fills up around each digit, it is, providing traction to push off. Same thing with the snow. You're going to get the same similarity, just a different feeling, different temperature. And adding sprints. Sprints is a great one that most dogs do all the time. You can add in, the elements for variety and training for multiple reasons besides the terrain and, getting fresh air and stimuli. Just doing it on grass as well. They're going to get that. The faster they push off, the more they're getting that flexion and extension. And one more common one is climbing. So every time that they're climbing up and over something, to get over it, they have to use their feet to provide that flexion to get up and over it. Going downwards is the extension. So they may not be using equipment in their daily lives, but they are using stairs and hills to power up, and it's all beginning at their paws, those front feet, to provide the stability. So here's a video of my old girl trying to get up the hill. It was a very big hill, but you can see it's all beginning at the feet. They're providing the traction, the stability, and they're the shock absorbers. So most of these examples were all in the medial plane going forward. And maybe in the hill video, she was kind of going off to the side. But don't worry, I'm going to show you some exercises to work in the different planes of motions, because it's important to work all different aspects of their body, the weaker muscles and everything, to live a more mobile life and to prevent injuries. So any type of movement that is turning their head and making their spine curve is going to be in the dorsal plane. So think of it as across their body or parallel to their body. And so any of those movements like spins and turns, wrapping around the cone, figure eights, weave pulls, they're going to work in that dorsal plane. And the faster they go, the more you will see it, because they're having to power off more to get around. And both sides will be getting the flexion. One side will get it a little more, and it's going to be working different areas. So you want to work both sides equally, because the tip of the toe is on the one foot. The outside one will get it more, or outer part of the inner foot will get it more. So a lot of things going on using a hill, going uphill, doing some figure eights, getting that wrapping motion. So you're getting into a lot of different things. This isn't a class, so got the obedience aspect going on, but you're getting into that transverse plane of motion, which is the front and the back. So a lot of things going on. So sidestepping is a great example, and pivoting, getting that flexion, of course, as they step over. That's the first foot to grip, to have the other foot meet. And again, you want to repeat both sides equally. And I know you're like, why do I need to know the planes of motions? You really don't. You can always contact me. But it is just good to have a variety in your training program. And you can do this, say, on the paw pods. They're much smaller, so that's going to be harder. But I save my favorite toe flexion exercises for the end, and that is using like a peanut, a pool noodle, or a foam roller. And you're going to have them do a pause up on it. You're going to do it both ways, but vertically, it's going to work them, side to side. It's great for the core. You can see that flexion in the toes because they have to maintain it to pull it inwards, and then reversing it, and you're going to rock it front and back. So again, core movement, and it's all starting from those toes with that flexion. And I know I named a lot today. I hopefully didn't overwhelm you, but believe me, there's even more than what I named today. Now, if your dog will let you, you can also do, some passive range of motion massage on their paws, on those digits. Flexing, extending can help, promote circulation. It's also a chance to check for stiffness, or if any of the nails are longer than the others, then that can mean some unbalance and compensation, and maybe help with making nail trims easier. And you never know, say if you have to check their paws for burrs or a bee sting, or if they cut it. And this is a lot of times how they get injuries is, gradual wear and tear from overuse or aging, and overuse like with repetitive training from jumping and fly ball turns. So that's why it's really important to keep working on exercising with your dog, allowing time to, cool down and recover. And of course, they have to put their exercise into the real world. So I love this video. There's a lot of toe flexion going on, just having a good time. And that's what it's all about, having fun, being safe, and just letting your dog live their best life for as long as possible. So I hope you learned something today, like me, and I will see you all next time. Bye.